Sure.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. We are now live, and I just want you to report pretty much everything that you've put in the Discord. And well, yes.
God, where do I start?
Yeah, I don't know where you start. But
I don't even have a clear timeline of what's happening.
Motherfucker, if we had a clear timeline for this bullshit. Oh dear God. Oh no.
What is okay? What might not people know?
Well,
See, how long has it been since we did this?
Well, let me just start out with this. My wife was expressing grave frustration with, it's sad it has to go down this way, and I turned to her. I'm like, nope. This is exactly what removing parasites from power feels like. It is going to be an absolute gut-wrenching, acrimonious event, getting these absolute shit stains out of power, and we got them with their hands stuck in the fucking cookie jar. And
well, okay,
go on.
If people, all right, if I just talked to my parents.
Oh my God.
Like, they're wishing my son happy birthday, and they're like the normiest of the norm, right? And they have no idea what is going on, like no clue. It's like, oh well, Trump will make a little bit of noise and then he'll go be a hero somewhere else. Like, dude, he just had a press conference. So there's that, right? There's that level, and then there's like, it's weird. I've been keeping sort of track of like who knows what at this point, and there seems to be like many different gradations, like then just above that, I was surprised to see what's his name, the Rolling Stone guy, Matt Taibbi. He doesn't seem to know what's going on, which surprised me because he usually knows everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and what's also shocking is that even after all that, you have people like Lindsey Graham, of all fucking people,
well, he's an insider. He's an insider. He knows everything.
Well, he knows everything, but he's expressing outright rage. He's like, of all the decades I've been in Congress, I have never been more pissed off than I am now. I'm like, holy shit. Lindsey fucking Graham.
What happened with Lindsey Graham, because he used to be like the most virulent never Trumper, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Just ahead of, what was it? It wasn't Russiagate. It was something just before that, where they needed him to do something. And I forget who it was. Oh, it was Roger Stone said he's a good singer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
I don't know, just spitballing. This is how it works in my head, is like, he's gay as the day is long. And right? Queer as a $3 bill. Can't hide it. Yep. They probably have something on him, and rather than destroy him with the rest, like, okay, we need him, so we're gonna flip him. And he's a good singer. So
Lindsey Graham you know who else was a flip? And he's outside the main, is Glenn Beck flipped. And I used to curse his name. Like, when he put his face in that fucking Cheeto bowl, I cursed his name. I'm like, get bent, Glenn. Like, you did not leave Fox News for this bullshit.
We should talk about that at some point too, because the most interesting thing to me seems to be that I don't know, the deep state, the establishment, like the mainstream, whatever, that the globalists, they seem to think that because Biden is up in the election, that everything is just going to go back the way that it was before.
No, Trump. If Biden gets in, it's going to be so much fucking worse.
Well, yeah, but like,
my God.
The conservative media, they're just like, it's like somebody flipped a switch and they're just going back. Like, oh well, there doesn't seem to be any
nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Here's be all right, you know. I'm not sure about Tucker.
Tucker is a wild card, but let's get to the numbers. You posted something in Discord where
I can't confirm that. Other people have been. It has been spread around Like that's not confirmation, is it?
Well, let's go. No, because I have seen these same numbers confirmed on Fox News discussion. So they're being legitimized. They're not wrong. They're absolutely factual. So let's go over that thing you posted about the states, and you posted it in TISM, I believe.
Let me look.
Yeah, just for everyone who's watching, go click on the Discord link, and if you go into the TISM forum, you'll see what we're talking about. Just scroll up like about 20 minutes.
Nevada, 1,000,002, close to 1,000,003 registered to vote. Registered and projected 1,000,006 vote in this election with a turnout of 125%, which is pretty good, right?
Which is obscene.
Oh, it's admirable, right? You always tell people that they should give 110%, and they went even beyond that. So trying very hard in Nevada, giving it their all.
There is no way that when you have over 100% in a precinct or state that it could possibly be fraudulent, fake.
Dude, of course, yeah.
Of course not. I mean, we're not
saying
that at all.
Understands that, so just make the other joke. Pennsylvania, 6,000,004, close to 6,000,005 registered to vote, 7 million projected. And I read someplace else. I was just on Twitter. Project Veritas said Pennsylvania discovered a million Biden votes overnight.
Oh no!
Remember Michigan's 130,000 and Wisconsin. I'm losing track. Yeah, it was 1 million. It was 130,000 in Michigan. That was Michigan, the 130,000, where it drove up in the
completely believable. But to be fair, I think all of those. I think all of those should go to Trump. I think those should go to Trump. And hear me out. I think these were the same people who Googled how do I change my vote during the debate when Trump was going over Hunter Biden. Absolutely. I mean, these are clearly disenfranchised people who want to change their votes.
Yeah, it was them. I've been flipping around all over the place, and Alex Jones. Okay, Alex Jones, when he has the information, he is good at recalling information. He has like some kind of mind. He can recall with perfect clarity things that he read like 27 years ago. When he gets into speculation, it gets a little bit weird for me. But he seems to think, or somebody told him, that it was the Chinese delivering these votes. I'm like, huh?
Oh, well, that
doesn't. Oh, why would it need to be the Chinese? And then he mentioned, and I saw somewhere else that they delivered in a Ferrari. I'm like, okay. If the Chinese dirtbag delivering votes, you would definitely do it in a Ferrari. So that's not confirmation. It's just correlation.
I would totally try to up Biden by delivering the winning tickets in a Ferrari.
It's funny though. I don't know how interested people are in this, but maybe you are. I follow a bunch of I'm in China. I follow a whole bunch. I follow the Chinese news, the mainstream, and the dissident news also. The Chinese, officially the Chinese media is not taking a side, like at all. Like they're not pro Biden, they're not pro Trump. They're happy that we're having trouble, right?
Yeah,
they're just basically rivals. So, but the dissident media, Wen Zhao and a couple other guys. Wen Zhao is probably the biggest guy. He's got like close to 1 million followers on YouTube, which is supposed to be banned in China. And I downloaded his thing and I sent it to everybody I could find inside the firewall because he knows everything. Like he knew about they all know. Like they're all on our side. They know everything that's going on. They know all about the stolen votes. They know the Democrats are corrupt. So that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the next state? What are the figures for the next state?
That was Pennsylvania. Minnesota, 3 million even registered to vote, which seems unlikely. Projected turnout 3 million too. So a turnout of 107%.
Wow.
North Carolina, 5,160,000 registered to vote, and projected turnout 6,463,000. Turnout of 160%.
Wow.
Wisconsin, 3,000,001 registered, 3,000,003 projected turnout of 105. Michigan, 5,000,004, close to 5,000,006, or 5,000,004, close to 5,000,005. Registered turnout 6,000,007, turnout of 105%. Arizona, 3,000,026 registered, and 3,000,003 turned out. Projected turnouts for 1%. And Georgia, 4.8 million registered and 4.7 million projected to turn out for 96%, which is still implausible. And I saw another thing on Twitter just a couple of minutes ago. In 2017, every single one of these states gave their ballot rolls, their registered ballot rolls, to the Republican Party.
This year they didn't.
Well, in 2017, after the last election, right?
Oh wow!
So the Republicans have all their voter rolls from the last election, all of it. So it's not like they were going there blind. And if it comes down to court battle, which of course it looks like it will. Well, they're not going in there blind, I guess is my point. They know, right?
Yes.
They know how many registered voters there are, and they know their names. Of course, there will be like some people died, some people came of age during those 4 years, but not that much.
Well, and it is miraculous. I think Candace Owens put out a wonderful diagram of the dead. We have election necromancy from the Democrats yet again. Like if you're like 100% of those who are over the mortality age are miraculously rising from their graves and voting Democrat. It is phenomenal. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. I don't know. For me, like stories like that, like the Sharpie story and the dead voter story and the canceled vote story, like those are interesting and they're definitely corruption, but it's like a handful, right? It's not enough to swing the election. The important thing is the million Biden votes that turned up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and we actually have a comment from Eick that reads, following the elections from Canada, feels like counting slows down to a crawl when you find Trump is winning until they find Biden votes, which is exactly what's happening. Like
exactly what happened.
If you were watching it election night like I was, because I'm a Politico. Every 4 years I get my fucking Super Bowl. This is what I live for. And watching the polls, watching the percentages stop coming in when Trump is winning, like you could tell the trend. You could see what was going on. It was like you had to not trust your lying eyes. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching another thing from InfoWars about the world watching America's elections, and I'm just thinking to myself, another thing that I had to tell Mrs. Carnal is I'm not mad, I'm insulted. I'm insulted because hear me out. You have the Chinese who are blatantly corrupt, and you have Putin who has a clamp on power in his domain, and then you have the Italians who are notoriously famous for their backroom deals and their election fraud. Like they don't even pretend. They're Machiavellian. They know that power rules over all. Then you come to this bullshit in America, and my problem with it isn't that there's corruption. It's that you're so fucking obvious. I could not see Biden becoming president and then looking the international other leaders in the eye saying, yeah, I'm legitimate. These fuckers are going to laugh at his ass because he got caught red-handed and everyone in his country knows he's a fraud.
Yes.
Like, you cannot respect this. This is below respectability. Like, corruption is one thing. And I will openly admit, as an American, like my Constitution was designed to put the process of government to a grinding halt. Like that's why we have three branches, is to make sure that there is sufficient consensus that anything that Congress or the Supreme Court or the Senate wants to do with the executive must be so fucking unanimous that it takes like a godsend to make anything happen. And I will openly admit that for common everyday occurrences to get something done, it takes a little corruption to oil those gears. That's a given. But when it's on this scale, it throws away all respectability.
Right. So ask the question, why? Right?
Well,
okay.
Exactly.
Hear me out. Hear me for a sec.
Go on.
You see some guy like run out of the forest, right? Like clothes all tore up. He's wild-eyed. He's like foaming at the mouth. He's like acting erratically. He's bumping into trees. Like, and he's like, wow. And you think like, wow, that guy's crazy. Like clearly he's behaving in a non-rational manner. Okay, that's one level. Then no. Then when you ask, what's chasing him?
Exactly.
Exactly. What is he afraid of that makes him behave this erratically?
Yeah. No, and you and I are on the same same brainwave, same frequency here. There's something that they clearly don't want getting out. There's a reason they need Biden in office so fucking desperately. I get that. But the fact that they did it so recklessly. And so the reason of the stream is, I'm going to call it like it is. I think Trump has, in reality, when he goes to court and demands the recount, demands accountability, gets all this shit flushed out, I have said, and I'm giving him, and I have to amend this because I wasn't taking into account the other states that might have gone Trump, like Arizona. He has at least a 290 lead, at least, in real votes.
He might have gotten
at
all
least.
the states, for what we know.
I'm absolutely, that's probably the case. I think this was a landslide for Trump outside of, the typical blue outsiders.
Okay. Consider, all right, 1 million for Pennsylvania overnight. All right. Clearly they did not plan for that. Clearly it did not go the way they expected it to go. And we know that, we assume that they've been planning to rig it in advance for a very long time. They've been basically announcing it for years, right?
Yep.
So they had their padding at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what you saw when they first came on.
Here's what's even more concerning about that. Let me just interject here. On top of that necessary padding, all of the districts where Trump did horribly in 2016 flipped. Most of this, there are a few in Texas that flipped for him. In a heavily Hispanic district, it flipped for him. And in all of these other districts where the Trump vote was weaker before, where he was like 20-80, now he's 60 and 40. Now he's like 50 and 50, 70 and 30.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like Trump is outperforming every single district that he did poorly in. And you cannot have that kind of increase in performance and have this disparity in votes. It does not.
Did you see Miami-Dade? Did you see Miami-Dade County?
Yes, Miami-Dade was one of them, and there was another one in Texas.
It was close.
Yes,
it was close.
No.
The bluest county in all of Florida.
Well, not only was it close in Miami-Dade, but in Texas, there were districts that completely flipped for Trump, that voted overwhelmingly for Hillary, that this time around, the Latino voters said, no, fuck this guy. Fuck Despacito. And we're going to vote for the orange man. Yeah. And it's amazing that despite all of this improved performance, that the American voters supposed to believe that he lost.
Yeah. So what it seems like to me, what happened is they had their mail-ins. They had rigged it already, right? They had rigged it already. They had their buffer according to their polls. Like, this is our buffer, and then the day of votes come in and they just burn right through it. You saw, like, at the beginning, like he was way down in Pennsylvania, way down in Michigan, way down in North Carolina, and he just burned through all of it. And like, oh shit, and they stopped the election, stopped the counting, and then suddenly, very round numbers, like it was a desperation move.
Yes,
right. They rigged it. They didn't rig it enough, and then they had to rig it some more.
Okay, so I know you're not American. I know that you have very little forethought in this. Okay, well you're not living in America now.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, I know. It should be common knowledge that you're living in China by now. You've been on the stream more than a couple of times.
I can't get out.
Yeah, I know it. And so if Trump is successful in taking all of these cases to court and we get recounts and we get ballot validation, where do you see the election ending up?
Ending up? Well, victory Trump for one.
Okay. So
how many people actually get arrested? I'm probably going to guess not very many. Like you're not going to see Biden and Hillary in chains, I'm sure.
Well, let's be realistic. We're not worried about the little people, driving Ferraris and dumping off ballots. But we just want to make sure that the victory is declared, and that the election is carried over, that it is properly honored. In terms of the states, in terms of the electoral count, like, do you have a ballpark as to where you personally would think that we would end up at?
Well, they're not going to investigate every state. I mean, I'm sure if you went and looked at Virginia was close, right? If Virginia was investigated, probably New Mexico, possibly Louisiana, if these places like those were investigated, it would probably flip for Trump. I'm sure it probably would. But they're only investigating as many states as they need to win, plus a couple. Yeah. So that would be the final count, like, I don't know, 290, 300.
That would be that was around my same estimation. I think that Trump has this with at least, as I said, 290 as just, and that's just to start. That's just to start. Oh my gosh! So the Governor DeSantis called out Fox News on Arizona for calling it too early.
I saw that. That was well, a lot of people have, but yeah, somebody on Hannity. Hannity is also good. Hannity is a good singer.
Yeah,
I don't think he has any ideas of his own.
True.
He's just therapy.
Okay, so and I just saw in the same video about InfoWars and the international effect. How do you think China is going to handle another Trump victory?
Oh, not that badly. The whole United States-China rivalry, you don't really see over here. Like the Chinese don't hate America. Like if you watch Fox News, like they're our enemy, like, in InfoWars, like they're our enemy. They're trying to destroy our. Definitely, they have spies. Definitely, they're trying to get leverage. But I don't know. From a Chinese perspective, their enemy is Japan. They hate Japan. They want Japan to die.
All right.
The United States is irritating. I wish they would stay out of our business, but they're way over there. Pretty sure you can't get us over here. Stop calling it the China virus. That irritates us, but not really a lot.
Okay. No,
it's something you really hear from the Americans. You don't really hear it here.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because this analyst on InfoWars was saying about how the Chinese would respect Trump taking Biden to court.
Oh, they do. They do. Trump is very much like people are going to hate to hear this. He's very much like Mao Zedong. He is. The Chinese Revolution was kind of a lot like the Trump Revolution.
I I don't know how to take that. I really don't.
Well, Chiang Kai-shek was a globalist. He had the support of like the Western powers. He lived on the coast. His power base was like all the moneyed people. And Mao Zedong, he came from the interior and mobilized regular people and took over the country.
Okay,
and then
that's well, to be fair, Trump is a coaster anyway, so it's not exactly meshing, but okay.
Yeah.
Huh. That was not something I expected to hear on this stream.
Sorry. I have unconventional ideas when it comes to China. I've been here a long time. I kind of know stuff.
Well, okay, back to the bear. What is the bear that the Democrats are running from? Please enlighten us on this issue.
I have no idea. I have theories. Where's Epstein's vault?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? Who has it? It's the FBI, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. What's in it?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Like, when the movie version of this comes out, that's what it needs to be about, right? It needs to be called Epstein's Vault. And the Epstein's Vault is like the MacGuffin that everybody's trying to take control over, right? We got to take Trump out because he's got the vault. And we got to take him out of power. We got to take over the control of the FBI because we need to get that vault, because in that vault is pictures of all of us with our pants down. Like the Hunter Biden stuff. That was a warning, right?
Yeah.
With me with a crack pipe. Getting a foot job for a 10-year-old girl.
I mean, honestly, if Hunter Biden's laptop was the fucking appetizer, I need to see the main course. Like, I need to see the smorgasbord of debauchery.
That's another question that nobody's asking. Like, they had it. Giuliani said they had it. Steve Bannon said they had it. Roger Stone said they had it. Alex Jones said they had it. A bunch of people said we have more, right? And they announced, like, it was last week, wasn't it? Like Monday, we're going to drop all this, and then crickets. They didn't do it. And
so
I don't know why.
So not even Steve Bannon dropped it?
Nope, nobody did.
Interesting.
There was the somewhat bad stuff, but it was announced that they had really much worse stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you would think that throughout this entire process, it might be beneficial to drop it in the middle of these lawsuits to sway public opinion. I mean, I would.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, the point of that would be to swing the electorate, right? But perhaps I'm just thinking out loud here. Perhaps the electorate has already swung, by their numbers, perhaps it's already swung as far as it could possibly go, right? And if we blow our load, we can't use it in the future.
That's true. That's absolutely true. But
so
then again,
if it doesn't move the numbers, we'll just hold it back. Like, maybe it'll be useful later. Like, maybe we can still use it for blackmail, right?
Maybe. So you think that's the bear that the Democrats are running from? That they're the reason why they're making these blatant, atrocious, clearly illegal and disqualifying moves of the election is that they're running from this bear of Epstein's cash and the laptop leaks?
Well, what did we find out? Like in 2016, we found out about Hillary's server and her relationships to blah blah blah, and she's on the take and everything. Okay, so that's her. And then 2020, we find out that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden have this little scheme going, and we find out, although the data was never released, that Nancy Pelosi's son also has a similar thing going.
Oh damn!
Okay, so
that.
All right. Is it just those
too juicy?
Guys? Is it just those three guys?
Oh,
or is
no,
it everybody?
Of course not.
Or is it, if I don't believe it's just three guys. If they're doing it, I think it's safe to say everybody's doing it.
Well,
like it's common practice Senate.
Okay, you know what I just remembered? Well, what I just remembered is election night. We're watching all of the results come in. We're watching the percentages come in, and any political acumen knows that Trump, after taking Florida and watching the rest of the other states, that he's going to landslide it. We know this based on the numbers given. The Young Turks meltdown was legendary.
Yes, it was.
And
did you go there? Did you see the chat?
I did see the chat for but a moment, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if the Young Turks, who are not who for all of their ideological stupidity, are not numerically challenged, like they're not complete imbeciles in that regard. If they looked at the election and said, "Holy shit, Trump landslide! How the fuck did we let this happen?" A, they're not in on the game, first of all, and B, clearly Trump was going to win, and everyone knew Trump was going to win. And it's again, it was clear, anyone watching, when they stopped taking polls and taking ballots. And I'm sorry, but there's a push. There's a push to make Americans think that election day should be more like election week, that we need to wait for more ballots, and that is a new normal that I don't think any American is going to accept out of hand.
Supreme Court. There's already been a ruling. There was a ruling prior to the election. SCOTUS ruled no. They have to be postmarked and received by election day. That's it.
Yes.
End of story.
And
so those votes that were delivered at 3 a.m. by Ferrari. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter what. Like, deadline's passed. Deadline was 8 o'clock. Deadline's passed. They're illegal.
And yes, here's another thing by GSP Friends, who just commented in the stream, says, "No way 70 million people voted for a recently released nursing home resident who can't even hold 7 people at his multi-million-dollar rallies." You know, how fucking true is that? How fucking true is it that we're supposed to believe that someone who couldn't fill a parking lot won against the candidate filling literal stadiums? You are lying to our faces, and no one should buy it. The only people buying this are people who either are extreme leftists or who honestly just hate Trump. And I'm incredulous that anyone else looking at this is going, no.
Well, they could also be very old. They could also be either A, they could be very, very old, or they could be trapped in an airport and unable to leave.
True.
Like the guy in that Tom Hanks movie. Like, he's trapped in that airport for the rest of his life, and he only has access to CNN. There could be those people.
Oh, my God. That's... oh. No, but even watching, because I was there election night and I watched CNN, and we did it for the lulls. Like we did it for we literally watched CNN for the cope factor, and CNN did not disappoint until we saw the polls freeze, and we're just like, what's going on? Like, who stopped the party? Because that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to have the election declared, and we wanted to party. It wasn't supposed to be this big acrimonious ordeal from obvious corruption. We have breaking news. Apparently, John Rich Will of Big and Rich will be at the Georgia Capitol Courthouse with Trump supporters Friday.
How do you know who that is? Who's John Rich?
I don't know either. John Rich Will of Big and Rich will be at Georgia Capitol Courthouse with Trump supporters on Friday. I'm assuming this is like another rally, another demanding for basically accountability.
Rallies are fine, but there have been like federal injunctions filed already, so things are. You don't need to demand that the government do something because the government is already doing something.
Well, here's another thing: is they've also frozen Georgia's election for quite some time. They froze the Georgia polls, and they're trying to say that too is going to go for Biden. Yeah, right. Georgia.
Well, I heard everything stopped, like in the middle of Trump's address, where he says we're going to investigate the corruption. Nevada and Arizona, they just stopped counting. Yeah,
I know, and that's what's depressing is you can't be a swing state and you can't, have everything, quote unquote, like on the line or neck and neck, and then just stop counting. Americans know better. This is not protocol. No, and we have another comment from Roy. I'm not going to pronounce your last name. I will botch it. I'm just going to guess Eick or Eick, who says that Biden had a speech where he stated that, quote, they have built an organization and you did this for Obama, created the biggest voter fraud group ever.
Yay.
Yep.
I assume that the voter fraud group commits voter fraud. Is that what that's about?
Close, Eick. Okay. Apparently, Big and Rich is the Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy country band who that's the name of one of their songs. Also made 8th of November hits. 8th of November hits you right in the feels. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're converting me over to country. I'm personally more of a metal fan. But these country stars.
How about Kentucky Headhunters or something like that, like country metal?
No, not even. I'm like a new metal Korn fan.
New metal.
It's not a real thing, I know, but they just threw a couple of rap artists in metal and called it new.
That was a long time ago.
I loved every second of it. Like,
okay.
We need to bring back the fucking 90s. No one had this bullshit in the 90s. No one.
Yes. Well, what? Of course they did.
Well, it wasn't a cultural issue. Like there wasn't this whole cancel culture.
They controlled both parties at that time. There was nothing to fight about.
Man, don't ruin my childhood. Don't.
Sorry.
Don't go there.
Sorry. We were born into slavery. We were born into a prison we cannot see or taste or touch.
Yeah, but we're fighting it now, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, I'm excited. Like I'm excited because there is fire and a demand for Trump to fight this, as opposed to years ago when we would have, as a people, just kind of, accepted it. And you can tell that they've been planting the seeds of Trump. Will you support a peaceful transition of power? Is how they phrased it, and and everyone's like, why would we consent to a peaceful transition of power? We're not fucking planning on one. So why would we accept it? Why would we promise you that? We don't want a transition. We want to maintain our power. Thank you. And for
will you kindly please take this blue pill and reinsert your corpse back inside the matrix? Please.
Exactly.
Running low on power.
Please replug into the matrix. You're making too much noise.
This steak is so juicy. It's juicy and delicious. Eat the steak.
For anyone who doesn't get the reference, watch The Matrix again. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But no.
Here's the thing I'm worried about. Fox's swamp.
Oh my God, yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes.
And they are going to, well, obviously the first salvo did not work.
Uh-huh.
Right? They try to demoralize you. They try to distract you. Like the first things they tried to do, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about voter fraud. I have a screenshot. I posted it. I think I posted it to your channel of Trey Gowdy. I used to like that guy. Hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about voter fraud. Fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Okay, so that didn't work, obviously. But there are other ways. They have other ways. There's so many ways to distract and I don't know, obvious like false flag, but like outrage you about, hey, this liberal out like Beyond the Pillars of Hercules said something rude about country western star.
Well, hang on. But that double-edged sword, that critical race theory of infiltrating everything with politics, fucking backfired. Because now we have to pay attention, don't we? We have to pay attention.
They don't want to. They just have to blunt the edge, right? Get you focused, a little bit focused on something else. just 3 degrees, and then 5 degrees, and then 7 degrees, and then they got you, right?
Yeah, but it's not because that doesn't work anymore because of critical race theory, because of social justice, because of the politicization of every single hobby and anything related to fun and pleasure now has to be so politicized.
Hang on. Let me ask you this. It's not going to be from the left. It's going to be from the right. It's going to be from Fox. Right? Hey, I'm your friend. I'm your ally. I'm your buddy. I'm as outraged at cancel culture as you are, man. Like, look what this guy's doing. Isn't that bullshit? Rawr, let's go get him. How well does anybody remember 2016?
I do.
Fox fought Trump tooth and nail in 2016.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember.
What's her name? Megyn Kelly. She's Fox, right?
Yep.
Trying to knock him out in the first round. And Chris, the idiot with the glasses.
Chris Wallace, the last moderator.
Yes. Yeah. He's Fox too, and he tried to derail him as well. Bill O'Reilly. Immediately, do you remember the people remember this? Trump boycotted a whole debate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, he did.
Fox debate, right? He boycotted the whole debate. Immediately before that, I watched every single Trump appearance, by the way, that year. Bill O'Reilly came on here and basically, it wasn't even an interview, just kind of roasted him for 30 minutes. Tried to roast the Trump. Yeah, come on, man. You gotta come to the thing, man. You're not gonna boycott our thing, right? And then he did. And Fox is the enemy. They absolutely are they're the enemy that pretends to be a friend, right? And immediately after the election, right, there was a huge shakeup at Fox. Bill O'Reilly was out, Tucker was in, Sean Hannity gets to stay where he is because he's a brainless hairdo. And Megyn Kelly left, and they brought a whole bunch of Kellyanne Conway came in. It was a whole big shakeup. And all of a sudden, boom, they're pro-Trump. We love Trump. Trump. Right? How many people fell for that? How many people fell for that?
No.
Everybody. Everybody fell for that.
Except if you were paying attention to all of the right other people. If you were paying attention to people like Gavin McInnes and Greg Gutfeld, they were open about the animosity towards Trump in Fox News. Gavin will straight up ratted on their ass and said, look, after Trump won the election in 2016, I came in. If you went into the office at Fox News in New York, and remember, these people are New Yorkers. They didn't vote for Trump. They were morose. They were fucking depressed. They couldn't believe that Trump had won, despite flapping their lips about him or whatever lip service they gave him. These people did not support Trump in any fashion as an institution.
Those guys are tainted, right? They're tainted. They can't be used. So we bring in somebody fresh who hasn't been on TV in a long time. Tucker Carlson, what are you up to? Nothing.
Yep.
Bow tie. You put on a regular tie. We'll give you the prime slot. Will you do it? Right on. So Tucker's in, and he's fresh, and he appears to be our guy. Did you see his? I did not see it on YouTube, but I did see it on his Facebook page. He has a little monologue called "America's Still Here." America's still here, right?
Wait, was this after the election?
It was a few hours ago. You can go on Tucker Carlson's Facebook page, and it's right there. The title of it is "America's Still Here." Basically, he's pretending to be on your side, but consoling you in your loss, right? It's okay. America's still here.
Fuck that noise.
We'll fight again another day. It's not over, guys. Buck up. There will be other elections. We still have the Senate.
Okay, I'm calling it now. Tucker has finally cucked. He's finally cucked. It is
was he always cucked, I guess is my question. Or was he forced to cuck by the network? I don't even know.
I'll be honest. I'll have to watch the monologue myself as to what exactly his wording was. But if it was anything other than we're still here and Trump is going to battle these results, if it's anything other than that, I utterly disavow. But pending my own viewing of this monologue, if it's anything other than America's still here because we have a legal system which these results can be challenged. Fuck Tucker. If Tucker has cucked, I'm done. And mind you, I'm just gonna share the personal anecdote of me and my family. Most of us, we've stopped watching the news. Like when we saw the way that the election was being treated, I'll be perfectly honest. We don't want to see what the news has to say, because again, Trump, the Biden couldn't get a rally to save his life. Trump outperformed in districts where he was grossly unpopular.
Yes.
We saw the voting stop when it went in Trump's favor, and then miraculously bounced for Biden with absolutely no votes going for Trump in ways that completely defy logic and reason. We don't care what the news says about these results. So I need to know what idiots are watching the mainstream narrative that these are legitimate results, because I honestly think that I honestly think that most of the people who know that this is bullshit have completely tuned out the mainstream news narrative.
Let me tell you what the mainstream news is doing right now. Nothing. They are silent. Right? The Hill hasn't commented. Fox hasn't commented. Well, not really. Let me tell you who's definitely on our side. Gateway Pundit, right? Definitely on our side. Yep. Little guys like Sinatra says, Black Pigeon, Mr. Obvious, like obviously they have no skin in this game, so they're telling it like it is. Everybody else that you think would be all over this major news event, like Trump's what I'm losing my words. His press conference, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's covering it. Nobody. It's crickets.
Now, does that include Tim Pool? Because I've seen a couple of
his understanding seems to be shallow, but he does not seem to be. Well, he's definitely talking about it.
Okay. Because I'll be honest, I'm not going to lump in YouTubers whose, let's face it, their livelihood is linked to a streaming service that is antagonistic towards them. I'm not going to link. I'm not going to.
Advertising dollars from me, baby.
Yeah, I'm not going to lump up. I'm not going to lump YouTubers in with the mainstream media. That would not be. That wouldn't be beneficial in swinging either way.
It's been really quiet.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. If I was a YouTuber, well, I sort of am, but I'm kind of breaking out of this thing. But if I had say 100,000 subs or something if I had that kind of sway and that kind of influence, I think there would be an added pressure to get it right than just rant and rave about what I want my reality to be. That being said, I'll be honest. If I had that kind of influence, I would still get up and say what I feel had to be said, because you owe it to those who support you to know that they're not alone in how you feel, and that's the kind of rapport and relationship you're supposed to be building with these people. Is that should be your primary motivation, is to get up and tell people they're not alone.
And Trump has been pretty good about that.
Yes,
that press conference was fierce. It's like, holy shit.
Yes,
my balls aren't even that big.
Yeah, I agree with Roy that Tim Pool is reporting as best he can. He's worried about getting kicked, but I actually watched some of Tim Pool's stream today, and it was clearly being fucked with. Like, it was clearly lagging. It was clearly like jumping. Like the chat was pressing F for Tim Pool the entire time, and it was you could tell that he's being throttled in real time, and it's not. It's not his fault. And we've all watched live streams with Tim Pool before where there was no problem, and yet for some mysterious reason after the election he starts having lag issues. Fuck that shit. We know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you saw Steve Bannon got his stuff like right out censored because for harassment. I'll tell you who gained some credibility with me.
You showed me that, and I was not
Crowder.
surprised.
Steven Crowder. I was always very suspicious about Steven Crowder because he's too good looking, he's too charismatic, and his production value is too good. Like it looks corporate, like he looks like the right wing Collider or something.
I'll be honest. No? I've never had that suspicion about Steven Crowder, and I don't know why. Like after a while, it wasn't that he was wrong or I got this icky feeling from him. It's just that for me, he got too bland. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like yes, he's a bit. Yeah.
He got a little too milk toast for me.
Some of his, I've been following him too recently, and he's on the corruption thing. He's on it. Well, I didn't expect him to.
And what was surprising is every other YouTuber stopped live streaming the election results. Steven Crowder was right there up until the moment. Like I shit you not. I swear to God. I highly suspect that they waited to drop those 134,000 ballot votes after Crowder stopped his stream.
Which is, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then he was back on 3 hours later in his pajamas and his hat.
Because he saw it happen. He's like, oh, fuck this shit. We're going back on, guys.
Oh, did you see what Alex Jones did? Alex Jones was on like 4 different shows that night.
Well, physically, here's the thing. That's wonderful, and I applaud him for it. Yeah. But here's my thing though is I like catching Alex live, and when I see him record it, it loses some of the magic. It loses some of the it loses. And yes, Steven Crowder is Canadian, so all of us is naturally suspicious. Again,
we're naturally suspicious. Yeah, and his biceps are too big. His hair's too nice.
Well, in the defense of certain Canadians, so is Gavin McInnes, and he gave us the Proud Boys. So let's not denigrate the Leafs when they prove their worth. Yeah. And Roy is also correct. Crowder partnered with the Blaze TV as a fallback.
He also broke the Twitch shuffle. Yes.
He partnered with Blaze TV, which is Glenn Beck's new outfit, which Glenn Beck was sharing an experience he had with Fox News. He's sitting in the office going, I got to get the fuck out of here. These people are going to burn themselves down. And here we are. Like Fox News is betraying every single viewer that they've ever had. Like anyone who's pro-Trump.
Let's make a short list of people who cucked out.
Yeah.
Number 1, Fox News. Definitely.
Well, it's strange.
Daily Wire.
Oh my God. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that the Daily Wire cucked out, or that Ben Shapiro isn't throwing his full weight behind Trump. That doesn't surprise me. I wish.
Right before the election. It's like you should all vote Trump. I was opposed to Trump in 2016, but I'm for Trump now. I don't remember.
I wish Shapiro was less of a believer in the institution that Democrats have infiltrated. I mean, I don't know how you can look at the landscape and honestly say that trusting the system is what we need to do right now. I don't see how that's reasonable, and that's the case that Trump is making, and he's going to make it. Like, we have them caught with their hands in the cookie jar. And I don't know how you can not realize that something nefarious is afoot and something needs to be done about it. Which is interesting because how do I put this? When you have institutional dinosaurs like Lindsey Graham doing rabble rousing for outing the corruption of this election fraud, they've done fucked up big time. Like there is no way that this goes to court and we get no recompense.
Oh, it was so sloppy. It was so sloppy. It was so incredibly sloppy. They did not anticipate. How bigly the big red wave was going to be big. And they had to stop the election and inject very round numbers, with like exactly the number they needed. It's so fucking obvious.
Oh.
And they know it. And they know it. That's why the observers aren't allowed in, and they have to stand like 100 feet away. Like they're terrified.
And we're going to board up the windows so you can't see what we're doing inside the. Like it's how sloppy. Like
it's really fucking sloppy.
And that is the whole gist of the thing is how can you be so bad and so desperate? Again, we're back to the bear analogy. Like you see a guy in torn clothes running out of the woods and he looks like he's crazy, but you realize, what are you running from?
What's he afraid of? What's he
exactly?
Yeah.
And we know that there's something about these next 4 years that if Trump is reelected, that they are terrified of, and we need to support. And here's the big thing that I want everyone watching, everyone who might watch later, be vocal about your dissent against this clear voter fraud. Like we need to be emboldened. We cannot be kowtowed into thinking that it is outrageous, considering all of the facts that there was something, that there were irregularities, that there was blatant corruption. We need to be bold about this. We need to be bold about the fact that we have a right to be skeptical and a right to be incredulous. We need to be loud on social media about this, even more than we have been, even if, like you know me personally on Facebook, I am persona non grata for the next 20 odd days because.
Oh, did you get banned? You got zucked.
Oh, I got a zuck for 30 days because Hunter Biden laptop not kosher.
You're not supposed to do that.
I did it anyway.
Well, the good thing is we don't have to. It doesn't have to be like a grassroots thing, right? Trump is on it. He's on it.
Well,
we just have to.
I agree with you. I agree with you entirely that Trump is on it and he has the institutional power to act on it. That's true. But we also need to increase our morale, because that's the other thing that they're trying to openly crush, and we need to do our part as in so much that we need to boost morale for Trump when those ballots and those states flip, because what comes after this, when Trump is vindicated and the election is restored, we're going to get riots. We're going to get bloodshed.
The riots are gonna.
We're gonna get war.
Start soon. Do you think there's even going to be an election? I'm not
sorry.
sure.
Do I think there's even going to be an election?
Yeah, like I think the election's done. I think the election's unresolved. Now it goes to
the election is done. No, yes. the election is done. It's the results that are being contested.
Yes,
and that's why Trump is going to court to have these to sort shit out. The fact of the matter is
the vote counting part is done. The election is done. From now on, it's not vote counting; it's court case.
Yes.
Yes.
And after the court case is
and the court case is going to last for a while.
And they are going to last a while, but we do need to do our part to make sure that there is morale for a Trump victory, because that is certainly sorry, come again?
Oh, so I'm always here to help people boost their morale.
Oh, yes. That is what we live for, is it not? But other than that, because what is going to happen next after the oh my gosh. GSP friends, I'll be perfectly honest. I stream live from my phone, and I have not yet mastered the art of playing things in the window on live from my phone to this platform. But he says to play the Trump Jr. clip where he says the do nothing Republican Party is over. It's on Trump's YouTube, released today. And you know what? He's absolutely right. And that's what Lindsey Graham has jumped on. And if everyone else doesn't, they're essentially dead in the water. This is the point for the Democrats that the Republicans were at in 2016. It's either eliminate your opponent or die yourself. With every other Republican, it's do or die. If you let the Democrats win this presidency, you are dead next election.
The Rubicon has been crossed.
Yes.
The Rubicon has been crossed. It's victory or death now.
Pretty much. It is victory or
Shawn
death.
Patriot, we do not need to start another party because we already have a party. They need to find another party.
Exactly.
Republican Party is ours, bitch. Like, they can go start the Patriot Party or the cuckold party. This is what they can start. And like their logo can be like a big fat red, white, and blue cock.
No.
The cuck party. Yeah.
You are giving them far too much credit. It should be a red, white, and blue anus. Because they're the ones who are going to get fucked every fucking election.
Like the Walmart anus. Like a big, like the Walmart, between the wall and the mart, like the cat's ass that they got up there, just like that on a white field. It'd be perfect.
Yes. A blue anus on a white field with a red center.
Yes.
Good God.
Like, peg me here. They can wear it on their shorts, right?
Mount the donkey here. Mount the donkey here. Every election is a free donkey show. Good God.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, let's not talk nonsense about
saying that. Like, we need to start our own party. Like, no, we don't. We have one.
Yeah.
Took it fair and square.
Trump successfully did a hostile takeover of the Republican Party, and they need to cope and either get on board or go away. And, I do support the creation of another party. It needs to be another irrelevant party like the Libertarians and the Greens, except they can call themselves the cuckold party of the former GOP. And, keep losing.
I want to address this thing that Shawn Patriot is saying right here, doing away with the two-party system. I have a question. After 2020, right? People were saying, like we covered this in the last stream, like after 2016, because of demographic shifts, right? The Democrats don't really have anybody. They have rich old white people, and that's kind of it, right? They're losing their minorities, right? And they've lost the working class a long time ago. That plus the revelation that they tried to overthrow the country, right? They tried to effect a coup d'etat in the United States. Does the Democratic Party cease to exist as a party?
Essentially, and that was the plan from the start.
In 2024, you want to join the treason party?
Well, that was the game plan for Steve Bannon. He said point blank, "I want to make the Democrats unelectable for the next 50 years." And
right. So if there are no elections,
if Trump wins, if Trump sets this record straight, that is exactly what will happen. The Party will be unviable for the next 50 years. And, again, bear in the forest.
Yeah, maybe they can show up in a Fallout 5 in an expansion like post-Holocaust. They're like, hey, remember the Democrats? Like a tiny faction living in a cave somewhere.
Did you hear Fox? I think it was Fox News jubilating that every single person that every single Democrat that was replaced that won their election in like the House and Senate seats was done by a Trump supporting woman.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, it was amazing. Like they have nothing. Just added irony.
Yeah, I saw an analysis that of like the racial and gender breakdowns in this election. Trump lost with white men, like 5%. He gained in every single demographic. +5, +5, +5, +5, +5, all across the board. Women, Hispanics, African Americans, everybody. And then, like, I guess Vietnamese went from like 10 to 1 million.
Oh my! Those damn they're not Vietnamese, but he got the roof Korean vote. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, there are a ton of on Twitter. There's a bunch of Koreans for Trump groups. Like I joined them. Like, what the hell is this?
No, that's not surprising to me. That is to me that is to be expected. When you are the meritocracy president, those with merit will support you, and that's exactly what happened. You got people with high IQ. You got people who test well into college, who are being oppressed by the critical race theory bullshit, and then you have shop owners and the middle class of America are now wising up to the fact that this is their fucking guy and they need to back him.
Yep, and they did,
and
they did. And America
exactly, they did, and the Democrats are trying to. The Democrats are unironically stealing the minority voices of America to elect their guy.
Yes. Amazing how diverse this white supremacy party is. Amazingly diverse. And then you go to a Bernie rally and it's all white people.
Oh,
just wall.
Well, it's only white people until the Black Lives Matter bitches show up and shove Bernie off the podium.
Yeah. I think it's like 2 people.
Oh my God. Biden campaign translated to a modern video games element. Loading screen.
Loading screen.
Watch GSP. After the loading screen, it's just going to crash.
Yeah. It's like load for 4 hours and suddenly bonus round. Here's $1 million votes. Ding, 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 ding. Just like,
my goodness. I don't want to play the Biden bonus level. Fuck that.
I already played it. Like, it happened at midnight. He got all the votes.
Oh my gosh.
He picked up all those coins.
And no one believes you. Your high score is full of shit.
You gotta believe me. You gotta believe me.
Oh my goodness. So, any other fascinating aspects of this that are coming off the top of your head? Because I'm almost out.
The thing that's really weirding me out, because it's like 3 p.m. here, and there's no news. I guess there are people tweeting, right? The Trump boys are up and they're tweeting, and Project Veritas, like, they're sending a message every like 10 minutes, but there's no news. Like, nobody's covering this, and the people who are, like, they're talking about like completely unrelated things.
And it's because everyone's waiting with bated breath about.
I bet that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's the bated breath. Like, no one knows what.
A lot of really late meetings going on right now. Like, what the fuck do we do? Well,
essentially, what it all comes down to party line. Do you back Biden and say, count every vote, or are you going to side with Trump and go, no, this shit's suspicious? Investigate it.
No. The question is, do we side with the mainstream Republican establishment, or do we get on the vote fraud thing? What do we do?
You get on the damn vote fraud thing. If you are GOP, if you are Republican, there is no other path other than to go on the vote fraud thing, because the only other option is defeat, and that's not an option now.
My point is, where there's another election, right? And you pick the wrong side. Like, you follow your party, right? You follow your party, and you can never go wrong. You win together, you lose together, you live to fight another day. If they pick wrong in this, they're finished.
Oh, absolutely. And
right?
That's why the battle lines. That's why the battle lines.
We're done. We'll never have any credibility in this town ever again. If we don't back the president and he wins, our nuts are on the block. Right?
No, I'm sorry. Even if Trump goes to the Supreme Court and the unthinkable happens, if the unthinkable happens, where it goes to the Supreme Court and Trump loses, every single rhino who did not back Trump is still a loser. they're still a loser. There is
Yes.
no coming back from this. If
Right,
we
exactly.
lose, they're done.
That's why nobody's talking. This is the biggest decision of their lives.
No, you should know what. I'm sorry, anyone who does not have the foresight to know that if Trump doesn't win, that it's over on the side of the GOP, if they haven't already figured out that, hey, if I don't back the president, I'm done. If they haven't, they shouldn't be in office anyway. All of the silent people.
I agree with you. But they're swamp creatures.
Oh my gosh. Now hang on. Here's what I'm waiting for. Here's what's going to be fucking hilarious. What has Mitt Romney said since this whole debacle has come down? I think he's in the bunker. I think Romney's in the bunker.
He's in the granite bunker up in Salt Lake where they keep the microfiche, waiting for the bombs to fall.
I am absolutely certain that Mitt Romney is in his bunker, either in Utah or in Michigan or wherever he's choosing to live this time.
Mexico.
Does he have property in Mexico?
Sure, doesn't he? Doesn't his family from Mexico?
That from what I understood, that was like 2 generations ago.
I'm joking. I was joking about the vaults too, but he's up in Timpanogos Cave.
Hey. You keep my people out of this.
You're my people.
I know. But anyways, no, I'm part of me is like really, really skeptical about like the people. Like, I want them to speak just so they can hang themselves.
Yes, it's going to be very amusing. I want to see who has the balls to speak up first.
Now, this is I'm going to read 2 comments that just popped up in chat. For America being terrible, backwards and weak, these other countries really like talking about us. Sounds like they're envious of how big our balls are. I'm American first and German dead last. Props to you, Roy. Props to you. And Shawn Patriot, Romney is on his knees in Biden's basement.
Is he pitching or catching?
Clearly, he's catching.
Oh,
Clearly, he's catching. Well, hang on. The jury's still out on that because I don't think Biden has the stamina or the pharmaceuticals to be pitching.
Maybe he has a robot dick. I'm assuming he must have a robot dick with money and connections like that. I am not
going to feed that image into my brain. I will remain pure from that imagery.
Maybe he just smelling him. Maybe he's just like bent over. Maybe Romney's like kneeling down in the basement, like under a light bulb, and like Biden is just like draping himself over his back and just like sniffing him right behind the ear. So we are certain that if anything, Romney is the little spoon. Oh yes, for sure. He's Well, Trump confirmed that.
But little spoon Romney it is. Little spoon Romney. I like it. We will go with that.
Yeah, Biden's flush with Hunter bucks. The Chinese like build those billions and billions of Chinese dollars. There's no way he's the little spoon.
So what did you? Okay, I know you watched it alongside me or with the rest of America. What did you think of Joe Biden's not victory speech? I
didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
What do you make of it? No.
I did watch it live.
Oh, yes, I did. Okay. He didn't even say anything. We're doing fine. Go back to bed.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Well.
That's why I called it
today, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I called it the not victory speech, is because he's like, let's count every vote and we're doing good in Georgia. I'm like, fucker, you're getting trounced in Georgia.
Yeah. Well, even if you were.
But then again, they stopped counting ballots and they got an injection of, I don't even want to think of how many more votes for Biden.
Biden got electoral Viagra. Mainline that shit. Boom. Straight up.
We've gone from electoral necromancy to electoral Viagra. This is something straight from the Biden laptop for sure. Absolutely for sure.
Wow, sucking on a crack pipe.
All right, I'm going to read a comment from GSP Friends. Mitt Romney is pulling a John McCain. Quote, now that I have disgraced my entire party, I can either open my mouth or die taking my betrayal to America to the grave. To be perfectly blunt, I would prefer he took his betrayal to the grave. No, I take that back. I don't prefer that. I want him to open his mouth and die. I want him to commit political seppuku and just be done with it. Patriot says Biden is the only man to ever fall asleep while getting a BJ. I'm going to have to demand. Are you shilling for Joe Biden now?
No, I just get sleepy.
Dear God. But was it with an underage Chinese girl in your mouth?
I can't. I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time, Senator. My counsel has advised me to take advantage of my Fifth Amendment right under the Constitution.
You're Chinese. You have no rights.
That's true.
Joe Biden never won anything. What makes you think a 47-year zombie losing carcass would ever create a victory speech?
Well, he read it off a teleprompter.
It could be made for him. It could be made for him.
They're gonna beat George. We're gonna beat George, and
I'm honestly a little shocked that he was alive. Like I'm a little shocked he survived to the end of election night. That was surprising in and of itself. So when do you think that if Joe gets the nod from the Supreme Court? Now, I have to throw this black pill out there, and I know that no one wants to recognize it. If it comes down to the Supreme Court, we have a snake in the Supreme Court named John Roberts, who has cited Go on.
Oh, I assume that they're not just going to say, "Hey, Supreme Court, what do you think?" I assume there's going to be an investigation where evidence will be presented. Like I'm sure they will go into these precincts, these districts, and look at the votes. Oh, we never actually covered the rumor.
Oh, dude, please do cover the rumor.
There is a rumor circulating around, among Q people who I do not normally give a whole lot of credence to, but they've got evidence to back it up that, the Trump campaign sees all, right? They have NSA backing. They see all. They can see everything in advance. And as early as 2017, they were anticipating the vote steal. Right, which is why they got the voter registration data and all this stuff, and they showed the Q people. They showed these documents of in California and some other places that where they authorized creating ballots with basically secret watermarks. Right.
Yeah, watermarks and allegedly they also had blockchain on it as well.
Yes, on the digital ones. There's blockchain on the digital ones and secret microdots or whatever on these ballots that they can detect a fraudulent ballot versus just by scanning it. And they have got scanners for these. So if there is an actual investigation and that rumor is true, and certainly seems plausible to me, it'll be open and shut. Like these are all fake. You pulled these right off the printer, like your inkjet printer in the office here.
Huh. So hang on. are you certain that there is no way for government officials or for ballot officials, for people working at polling stations, there is no way for them to generate valid ballots at the polling place?
There would have been, probably, if they had known about it.
Huh.
The rumor is that they did not know about it.
Oh, okay.
So this would be a surprise.
I see. So what you're saying is that Trump not only surpassed their expected threshold of lead, Trump not only surpassed that, he surpassed their anticipated lead even more, so that they had to make more impromptu ballots that were completely bogus.
The allegation is that it's all been a trap, that they've been laying this trap for 4 years.
And they didn't want to blow this load at 2018?
Apparently not. I guess they want to catch everybody, right?
Okay.
Like lure them into a trap, make them commit voter fraud, and then finish them.
Okay, that's actually fair enough.
Like, people always say things like that, so I don't know. My only problem with this theory is that I don't think that ballots are come from one central place. Like they would be created on a state-by-state basis. Like every state's ballots are different, right? They all have different systems. So maybe it's just some states. Maybe it's just the important states. I don't know.
Okay, we have a comment from Shawn Patriot. I can confirm that 4 of the 12 states, National Guard has been deployed day before the election.
Yes.
That's okay. So literally, they got caught with their hands in the cookie jar.
Possibly. And there's also the thing I showed you on the Discord, like the NSA tweeted like election day, like it is the NSA's duty to secure like the fidelity of Americans' elections. We're here to defend you, blah blah blah.
Well, shit. That big if true, and I sincerely hope that it is. With or without these additional measures, the fact of the matter is whether they were preparing for this in advance or whether or not they saw it this election, the fact is it's going to be impossible for the Democrats, if investigated, to cover their asses this time.
Yeah, well, here's why I think it might be true.
Please go on.
Because like really both sides have been making noise about this election from the beginning, right?
Uh-huh.
Ever since Trump took office in 2017, they've been saying when the next election comes around, he's not gonna relinquish power.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes, this quote unquote peaceful transition.
Yeah, there won't be a peaceful transition. Why would you say that? Right? It's kind of a weird thing to say. And
especially when you're not anticipating a transition.
Yeah. When the whole Q thing started getting fired up, like it's the media, they don't know, they don't follow things that happen in the corners of the internet, you know? They don't know what 4chan. I'm sure they still don't know what 4chan is, like Hacker 4chan, whatever. Yes, and this is an anonymous account posting anonymously to a fringe forum, right? And even back, way back at the beginning, when nobody had ever heard of it, the big tech companies were suppressing like Q videos and Q information. They were suppressing it, right? Where you'd search on it and you'd have to go down like 6 pages to find anything. Like everything would be. They were debunking it before anybody heard of it.
Yeah.
Right. We should always be a red flag.
And so it's not a coincidence that during the presidential debates, they would ask Trump to disavow Q.
Yes. Like regular people haven't heard of Q.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Fox doesn't Q.
Exactly.
But they're freaking out about it anyway. Like of all the things you're going to freak out about, why would you go down that deep?
Yeah, that's
kind of confirmation. That's kind of confirmation.
You don't spurg over something that's irrelevant. Let's just put it that way.
Especially because they don't even. It's not like they found it. Like if you don't know the places where Q is found, How would you know about Q?
Only if he's saying something that threatens your power.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, they knew about him from other places. They knew about Q from other places.
Okay. Well, you have my ear. As I've always said, I'm not a huge fan of Q because Q does the whole trust the plan deal, and I'm never down for that. I'm always down
I don't
with
know. Think about that. And if you consider that these guys are basically jarheads, right?
From what I've heard.
Yeah, they're military guys. They're basically jarheads. Have you met people in the military? That is how they talk, right? That is how they think, right?
Yep.
They'll give their missions like these really like, this is Operation blah blah blah. This is the storm. Trust the plan. That is if you were to write a dialogue for a military dude, that is exactly how you should write it because that's how they talk. So that's I don't know, internal confirmation.
You have a point. However, that's also the Q people that I've interacted with on Gab and whatnot. This is also the rhetoric being taken up by, I hate to say it, middle-aged boomer women who are, taking up the Q speak. So it's kind of being diluted just a little bit. The way that these military people talk, trust the plan. It's being taken up by people other than that demographic.
Well, yes, and that's something that you should expect, right? Because if it is real, right, and you want to discredit it, what you would do is you would flood the channel. You would go on these sites and post as Q and post stupid shit, right?
But they haven't done
make
that.
them look foolish, like talking about John Kennedy being alive, and
yeah,
and it worked, right? Like most people think that Q is stupid crap because of things that are not actually related to Q. It's just people who claim to be his followers.
Ah, got it.
It's a propaganda technique. It's flooding the channel. It's what they did with the Occupy movement. They dispersed. They blew up the Occupy movement that way.
And that to me is one of the drawbacks of anonymity. I understand the appeal. I understand the need for it in certain cases, but the real drawback of anonymity is anyone can claim to represent the movement, and it's actually pretty funny. It's hilarious because in 2016, I remember a quote unquote anonymous channel that was clearly run by the Trump campaign.
Yes.
It was clearly backed by the Trump campaign, and even though I would share links from this as the anonymous group, I knew it was Trump, and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I openly promoted this channel as anon, knowing pretty much full well that it was a Trump psyop, which was, in my opinion, just beautiful because nothing that they said was wrong. It was just pro-Trump, and they were posing as anonymous, which was hilarious, which I got a kick out of.
Anonymous is another group that got completely co-opted because it has no leaders and it has no center. Kind of unrelated, but have you ever out of like morbid curiosity gone and looked up like the Nazi Party USA or like the KKK homepage or whatever? They exist. If you look for them, you can find them. They are so hilariously fake. Like they literally look like they were coded in 1994.
Oh my gosh.
They're the ugliest pages. Like they got animated GIFs of like skulls and stuff, and like you could get a default template off of Squarespace or whatever, and it would look contemporary, right? You just put your stuff on it, it's fine. But no. Somebody went to the effort to make something that looked horrible. It's a false flag, basically. Probably the FBI. Who knows?
Now, I see Shawn and Kermit. Do I have fellow PBs in here? Do I have the Uhuru lads in here? I'm just gonna wait for that to translate. But anyways, but these so apparently these websites are just obviously psyops. Like they're obviously not real real KKK websites.
There is no KKK.
Yeah, you didn't need to tell me that. I pretty much already knew because most of the people
the KKK one is really funny. It's basically a minister, and if you go to his, it's like this horrible page. And if you go to his, he's got like a video section, and his video section is literally his 14-year-old son reading the newspaper.
Wow.
It's so hilariously bad. So yeah, getting way off track, but I believe that if you were trying to discredit something that was real, you would flood the channel with stupid crap, and there's definitely stupid crap. So that's kind of internal confirmation, maybe. Okay.
So that's QAnon bullshit exposed. Any other part of this debacle that you wanted to highlight?
I don't know. I'm so confused right now. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's not that we don't know what's going on. We're just dazed and confused about what's going on next because no one will report it. Because
I guess we'll find out what happens next. I'm very interested to see who will break the silence first and what they will say.
Indeed. And until that time, again, I'm calling this election for Trump at over 290 electoral votes because, well, that's where the data shows me sans shenanigans. Sans shenanigans, Trump has won the election with over 290 electoral votes. Any other closing comments?
No, nothing for me.
All right. Thank you, everyone who joined us on the stream. This was by far the largest stream I've had yet.
Cool.
Please like and subscribe, and please go to my friend Incel Riot. Just click, put in his name on the search bar at YouTube. You will find him. He is the creator of the game Virtue Signal. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so go ahead and give his channel a like and look at his content. Buy the game. It's an awesome. If you want, it mocks social justice warriors, and you have a Deplorables expansion, which I'm actually looking forward to.
I just got the sample today. It came a couple hours ago. It looks pretty good.
Dude, send me a copy, and I will make another video.
Okay, that'll take a while. It's got to go on boat.
That's fair enough. We have a conversation here about please address this. Remember that Trump will fight to the grave. Conservative hold the sign ad. Yeah. I believe that's what it says. Remember? Yeah. And Trump is do or die on this. He cannot lose, because if he loses the presidency at this stage, his life is over. His life is over.
They can't fight him. You can't fight him. They've never gone up against anybody with balls this big.
But I'm sorry. I have to highlight this comment by Roy. Says, I'm trying to join, alluding to the Proud Boys. Need to look at some cereal. You do that, Roy. You do that, and you memorize those 5 breakfast cereals. But I'm going to tell you an OG trick, Roy. I'm going to tell you an OG trick. You name 4 breakfast cereals right off the top, and right as you're about to name the 5th, you hold it for about 5 seconds just to soak it in. Really marinate in that initiation before you give off that last cereal. I'm telling you, those 5 seconds are worth every single hit, because that's how you know that they're your brothers for real, and that's how they know that you're legit. Because the reason that we do the 5 cereals is to make sure that you're able to maintain your cool in the midst of combat. Like you are supposed to be able to maintain your state of mind even in the midst of adversity. And so get your 5 names. Rattle off the 4, and at the last one, hold it in. And then, when it's time, and you'll know when that time comes, just name off that 5th one, and you should be golden. 5 seconds. Yes. Fucking Uhuru. Fucking Uhuru. You go for the minute, man. That is some Chad shit. Get it done. Yiggs says, thanks for the stream. Looking forward to more. Already pre-ordered Virtue Signal. So we got you some business there, Incel.
Sweet.
Comrade Crunch is cereals listed. Thank you. Thank you. This is glorious. I think we're going to end it here, guys. If you want more listings of the cereals, GSP, list them on the comments after I close the stream. You guys have been beautiful. As always, stay carnal, guys. God bless.